Hello, just a little note from me, Em, before we start. Firstly, I'd like to welcome you to this community we're creating together, a space where we can share our experiences, learn, and support each other through navigating life after a brain cancer diagnosis. I had the idea to start this podcast after my own diagnosis just under 2 years ago. While my mind raced with the scary reality of what I was facing, I needed a lifeline that was easy to access and would lift my spirits. Before we begin today's episode, I would like to be open and share my diagnosis upfront for you to understand my current mindset. I was diagnosed with a grade 3 astrocytoma with the IDH1 gene mutation. While the topics we discuss here are difficult, my approach is that of how do we keep moving forward and maintaining a positive mindset. I don't want to focus too heavily on the more devastating and negative aspects of this disease because that could trigger anxiety or fear for those going through it. I also understand that there are aspects of my diagnosis that might be more favorable than others, but know that I'm not oblivious to it, that I care and I'll be raising awareness for other types of brain cancers too. A huge thank you to the Brain Cancer Group for their support of this podcast. Now let's dive into today's episode. Welcome to the first episode of Heads Up with Em.
Yay!
I am Emily, your host, and this is my best friend, Gabrielle. And we're going to share a little bit about my journey and my experience after I was diagnosed with brain cancer at the age of 30. A huge part of my diagnosis was the fact that I was a mum of 2 children, and in my arms, when I was first told that there was a tumor, was my 9-week-old baby. And my age had a huge factor in this diagnosis because I felt like it just absolutely wasn't my time to get cancer. I was meant to be taking care of my family, not the other way around. Mm-hmm. And when I went online to seek out alternative supports and information and relevant information, I found it a lot to sift through. And I really just wanted to know, what's it like? What is it actually like? What does it feel like to go through? And what does it look like when it's over? For me, day one, I said, just get it out of me. And can I just get back to where I am now? Because I'm really like where I am in my life now. So I think for me, I've come out of this, I'm, 14 months after my diagnosis, and I am in a really positive space. So I almost want to share this experience to go back to my former self and say, hey, it's going to be okay. You're going to have a really fulfilled life. You're going to be able to make future plans. You're going to be happy. And I really needed to hear that. So this is why we've decided to share our journey. I have Gabrielle with me, who is a huge part of my entire life, not only from this journey itself, because you were there with me from day one, but just as my best friend. And I think that's really fun and important to have. Your mate who kind of is seeing this alongside you. And for you, it was really a difficult experience as well on how to support. So I'm going to take it over and introduce her because she's an extremely special person.
Yes, thank you for having me. I feel very honored to be here. Feels like a big privilege to be able to sit here and listen to you share your story and do something really incredible with sharing your bravery and your optimism and your positive outlook on life, which I feel like everyone can benefit from. Because I know I have. So I feel like I know why this is going to be so good. I know what this story can bring because it's already brought so much, a whole new layer to my life and how I live my life, which is really special. So yeah, I sit here as the best friend, and I wouldn't want to be anywhere else. To kind of share my side of it, to let you tell your side of it, I guess to have a bit of fun along the way.
And not only are you my best friend, but you also have a really interesting background. So I think that's really vital.
So in my job, it's really different to this. I'm not often on podcasts, but in my job, I get to listen to people's stories a lot. So I support people who have to move through the court process, so victims of crime. Broadly, but I suppose mostly my job involves speaking to victim survivors of sexual violence and domestic violence. And yeah, it's sort of similar in a way, because I get to see this, like, the power of this human resistance, this human resilience, and just like, yeah, see people at the worst in their life, but also fighting forwards, and they just keep going. They just keep waking up in the morning. And so, yeah, so this has been different, I suppose, to have, brain cancer, this big health issue, this huge medical thing that feels really scary and unknown, to support you through and listen to your story. But yeah, and then in other ways, I feel like it does parallel that, those stories
Who
of
better
just
to support me? Who better, to be my best friend in all of this?
Yeah, but I don't know. I think when it all unfolded, I felt like, oh my God, there's no way. How do I fit in? What space? What do I do next? You know, and I was researching, I was online as well, looking for things. And so I'm glad to hear that you think I was a good support through it, because I'm trying to be.
Yeah, definitely. One big thing for us, I think we talk about, is the fact that at the start of my journey, I was really leaning on my husband to be everything for me in those first few months. And I was like getting frustrated with him, saying, you don't make me laugh like Gabrielle makes me laugh. Like, you don't make me feel this way. You are doing all of the admin stuff, and I need you to be this and that and that. And then him and I came to this point where we were like, actually, no, like, I need a team of different people for different things. And that was so vital for me to understand. My parents, my sisters, you and Jake all gave me something different.
Yeah. We all played a different role.
Exactly. Yeah. And because you were going through your own trauma as well, you're hurting too. So I think people say the word carer, and that carer 100% plays a vital role. I mean, Jake is like, such a strong
everything.
Exactly. But he doesn't need to be everything at the same time. I have different people. Exactly. I needed you as that, like, humorous relief. I needed to come to you. I needed to talk about random stuff. Yeah. I wanted that girl time. I wanted that relaxed nature. I didn't need to have those serious conversations all the time.
Yeah.
So I think that's why you're perfect for the podcast. We're going to go through the hard parts.
Yes.
We're going to go through the humorous parts.
Yes.
And I think we carry, naturally, our friendship has always had a lightheartedness to it.
Yes. So we could get a bit lost.
Exactly.
There could be little tangents. I'm not sure.
You're also getting to know us.
You're getting to know us. You're getting to know us. But there could be a few tangents. And I'm not sure. Yeah, I don't know. Like, do we just keep exploring all the tangents, or maybe no tangents?
Sometimes we'll have to reel it in.
Stay on track. Which actually brings me to a good point. There is something I feel like we should acknowledge in all of this. Because some of you might not want to stay on track. Some of you might just feel like you don't need to keep listening, that this is a bit too much. This is a bit real.
Depends where you are at.
It depends where you're at. So some of this might make you cry. And look, it's always good to have a good cry. And just know, I'm right there with you with the crying. I've cried a lot through all of this. But yeah.
We might cry.
We might cry. We don't know. But like, obviously, we're thinking that some of you listening might be living this experience today. Some of you might have been fighting this cancer for a while now, or maybe you're a loved one of someone who's just been diagnosed, or you're a loved one of someone who you've lost, or maybe it's just mum and dad listening.
Yeah. Hi, mum and dad.
But yes, we've got you, and we just want to say, listen if you can, listen later if right now is not the time. Exactly. But yes, we're here.
Exactly. We want to make this a really relatable kind of discussion, and we also would love any feedback, any questions that you might have that you'd like to comment, so that we're going to do a deep dive into my whole journey and my whole experience with this, and we can address those topics that you really want heard, that I might have experienced or I might not have experienced, because that was a big thing for me when I read about all of the side effects, all of the symptoms. You think, are all those going to happen to me? How do I prepare for it? How do I prepare my family for this? How do I prepare financially for this? But thankfully, I had I think I have had a pretty standard experience with chemotherapy and radiation, all of the standard results. And it, surprisingly for me, wasn't as bad as I pictured in my head. So I think that's also really helpful for the listeners out there. But Gab and I have been friends for a long time. We met at uni.
Yeah.
And we're in a tiny classroom together. This was about 14 years ago, I think. So anyone from back in those uni days, I think will be thinking, oh my God, who gave
be listening.
who gave these girls a microphone? Because we pretty much have been inseparable ever since. And that is what makes our friendship really
Special.
Yeah.
Strong. Yeah.
Exactly.
Always good things.
I was so lucky to have you.
Yes. Very unique.
Exactly. So
where do we kick off?
Where do we
start
off? I think we should start with a little bit about me. Exactly. Okay. So if you haven't noticed yet, and I know everyone always brings this up as soon as I start talking to them, is where are you from?
Yeah.
So I have an accent.
Mm-hmm.
I've lived in Australia for about almost 15 years now.
Mm-hmm.
I moved here when I was 18, and I am from Malta.
Mm-hmm.
Exactly. Malta.
Small little island
in the Mediterranean.
That's it.
That's me. My dad is Kiwi English. My mum is Maltese, and we lived there for all of my upbringing, and made the big move with down under. Exactly, with my parents and my sisters, and now we all live here, and we're all very close, and just like increasing in population. All of my family is to really growing families, all of us, which has been fun. So now we're very settled in Australia, and we love it here. And Gav and I, soon after I moved here, I started uni, and we met there. But I am a mum of two. As I said, I have two little girls who are my world, and my husband Jake, who is for me a great guy.
Mm-hmm.
And my best friend. And between my sisters and Jake and Gav, I've also, in my area, I've moved to a small area of Sydney in Avalon. And I think I have to mention Avalon without sounding too cliche.
You got to mention it.
I have to.
You got to mention it.
But the community of Avalon for me has been incredible. It's a tiny little village on the northern beaches. You've got the sea, which is so calming for walks, and you've got the small village of your shops that you need. And I've made some really great friends here. So when I was told I couldn't drive for the indefinite future, we didn't know when, I was like, you know what? I've got this.
Everything's here.
Everything is in Avalon. I had it all. And so, I mean...
walk.
Yeah, we walked. Me and the girls just walked every day, sometimes twice a day, into the village.
Yeah.
And the community of Avalon has been amazing for me. I'm really lucky to have been here.
Yeah.
So
it's very beautiful.
Exactly.
It's very beautiful. It's very idyllic.
Exactly.
Very idyllic.
I needed it.
It's like a holiday.
I say it's living in a holiday destination. And the support system I've created here has been amazing. Lots of moms. And I think when you go, I had been living here a couple of years, and then this happened, and then the people that surround you, and the people in my community who have surrounded me here have been so warm. And now I don't think I could ever leave. I always say if I am ever to retire, I'm going to go to Palm Beach.
No, not too far.
Just up the road. Exactly. So that's a summary of myself. Exactly. And I was previously working with my family business. And so that's why my community is so small, because it's my parents, my sisters, you and Jake, and my community of Avalon.
Yeah.
That's a little me in a nutshell. Pretty simple, but pretty easygoing. Yeah.
And now where do we go?
Now I think we deep dive. Shall we go into...
Should we go into the story? Should we go into the story? Unfolded.
I think so.
Mm-hmm.
So I was 30 years old, and we had our 30th, but Gabrielle and I have our birthdays very close together.
4 days apart.
Yes. It's a very iconic part of our friendship, because we celebrate our birthdays in such a big way.
We would say it's our birthday.
Yes, it's our birthday coming up. Yeah. So we had... Gav had a big 30th and surprised me by also making it my 30th.
It was also her 30th.
Yeah, I didn't know I was attending my 30th too. Yeah. And she had a cake for me. It was amazing. Yeah. And I think I didn't want to celebrate because I was pregnant at the time, and I was just not feeling myself. And so I was so happy that we had this big 30th. And our birthday cards to each other are like vows. We love a good long message. And we were so excited for the year ahead.
Yeah.
I was having my second baby.
Exciting.
Exactly. 30, and we had spent all of our 20s together. We had a joint 21st. 30s was meant to be a big part, and I think in a way it is. You know, we kicked off our 30s
in a really big way.
Exactly.
Really big one.
Exactly.
Yes, it felt like a big speed hump.
Yes. Yeah. And so I was pregnant with Francesca at the time, and around 20 weeks pregnant, I was diagnosed with gestational diabetes, which was just a kind of a hump in the road. So I was having all these other symptoms, I guess, at the same time, which is why a lot of my early symptoms were masked by my pregnancy symptoms. And I have no blame on the doctors that were telling me, oh, you're pregnant, don't worry. But I understand the confusion. Not only did I have gestational diabetes, but I also had this thing called PUPS rash. Now, if anyone's had it, you won't forget it. It's a pregnancy rash that spreads over your entire body. From my scalp to my toes. This rash was like hives, like scabies under your skin. You're already uncomfortable with the baby inside of you. The only way to
what
cure,
do it look like?
Like hives and like little pustules all over your body, everywhere, a noose everywhere. Anyway, so in order to combat the PUPS, which was driving me insane, I had to take a lot of steroids. The steroids ruins your insulin resistance, which paired with the diabetes was just the two worst combination of illnesses to have. And so I was taking so much insulin to combat the PUPS. Now, because of this, I was understandably stressed.
Yes. It's a bit of stress going on.
I was stressed.
Yeah.
And so when I was...
You got a 2-year-old.
I have a 2-year-old, exactly. Or a 1.5-year-old. Yeah, I was working almost full time.
Yeah.
Anyway, so one day I've just been diagnosed, I think, with gestational diabetes. And I stood up really quickly from my desk and I had this almost like I was hit on my left eye, like with a frying pan. And my vision was just bang. Almost like you can hear your sight. So like bang,
Vision
bang, bang. Exactly. Black to back, black and then back. It was so disorientating. And my dad, obviously, is right beside me at his office desk. And he's, looking quite concerned. And I sit back down in my chair, and by this point, 15 seconds after that, my vision on my left side was just black, just darkness.
Yeah.
So
scary.
It was really scary. And so I called up the midwives, and they told me, just come in for a routine check, and we'll check over that baby. And so obviously I couldn't drive because my vision was gone.
Yeah.
So my husband left work, came to pick me up, and off we went to the hospital. And they looked over me. By the time I got there, I did have like a mild migraine. So they put me in a dark room, checked on the baby, and everything looked fine after about an hour and a half. No worries. And I thought, okay, great. They said you're fine to go home.
Yeah, the baby's fine.
The baby's fine. Looks good. And I said, okay.
So were you worried at that point about anything?
I was worried at the time, and it's interesting because like if when I describe this symptom, this episode, I think to myself, how did you not think it was like possibly related to your brain?
Yes.
But as we go through all of these symptoms, I never thought that it was my brain. I just thought it was my eyes. I went to get my eyes checked a few years later. And, the nurses and I had gone to the GP. So these episodes kept on happening much less than that first one. So I would have just random every time. Mostly it started off when I would move my head or stand up too quickly. So I naturally just thought maybe it's my blood pressure. And I would bring it out.
Mentioning it to the doctor.
I'm mentioning it as I'm going. I mention because, I'm always seeing doctors with this pregnancy. The gestational diabetes meant I was seeing them every 2 weeks. And I'm just regularly mentioning it.
Yes.
And it started to happen more frequently. Once a fortnight, once a week, 3 times a week. And they was just saying it's stress related.
Well, But what's more inconvenient at this point? Like the gestational diabetes, the rash, or this vision loss?
I was just having the worst time, I have to say. I'm a positive person, and that pregnancy
It's rough.
was so rough.
Yeah, but she was worth it.
She was worth it. She's absolutely worth it. But that pregnancy was like, something different. And I like really looked, I never really talk about how hard that pregnancy was because like you get the blessing at the end and you forget about it.
Yeah.
But my God, it was tough.
You haven't had much time to reflect on it.
I literally haven't had time because then we went straight into the cancer chat. Yeah. So yeah, I'm going through this hard time and it's happening regularly. And I really remember all the times, like that time I met that friend and it happened then. And a lot of the time it's like when I'm seeing people or I'm in front of people and so I have to mask it, that it's not happening. And I was quite self-conscious about it. Anyway, so I have my baby. That goes smoothly. Birth goes smoothly. And I'm actually really grateful, considering you're going through childbirth with not knowing you have a brain tumor, that went really well. And, you know, I'm going through the early stages of newborn phase. And this is kind of where I do start to get frustrated. And my husband, Jake, he is really frustrated. And I think he'll be filthy if I don't mention this, that he was saying this whole time, you just go and tell them you need an MRI. Anyway, so I do go at about 6 weeks pregnant. I go to the GP specifically to mention these vision things because at this point I'm quite nervous if it would happen while I'm holding the baby or while I'm driving.
While you're driving.
And I say, this is my issue. And you can see on my notes, I've mentioned it a few times. And he says, now you have a newborn. And I'm like, all right, I'll give you that. And I honestly, I do understand.
So what did he mean by that?
He was like, now you've got a newborn, you're losing sleep. It's probably like you're just tired, you're exhausted.
Okay.
And you know when someone tells you like you're stressed and you have to prove to them you're not stressed. It's why it's uncomfortable, but I really wasn't stressed. I was doing quite well. Anyway, I don't hold any resentment because it's so far left field. I'm a young, healthy woman. It's okay. It gave me relief. In fact, I was like, perfect. I can go on. I can tell my husband they didn't give me an MRI. This is great.
Yes.
And then a few weeks later, I go back to GP because I forgot to do after you have a baby, you have to do a 6-week check. And I forgot I even had to do that. So about 8 weeks, at 8 weeks postpartum, I go for this 6-week check. And I stand up to go. I say, thank you so much. I say bye. And as I stand up, it happens. And I say, hey, can you test my blood pressure? You'll see in the notes. I've mentioned this a few times. She's testing my blood pressure and she says, look, everything's looking perfect. You're looking fine. Is it still happening? I'm like, yeah, there's quite a big one. This is going for like about 30 seconds now.
So this incident's happening in front of the GP?
Yeah. She's like looking at me and she's thinking, oh, this does actually, it was the first time someone was like, and I think it needed to be in front of someone. Because they needed to know it wasn't this like tiny blip.
Yeah.
You know, it's really hard to explain.
Yeah.
And she's like, okay, no, I can see you have mentioned this a few times. We'll send you for an MRI. But yeah, so she sends me, she was like, it's not urgent.
Yes.
But
maybe
go and get it checked. Because I think she's also concerned that I keep mentioning it. So I think when you're constantly saying it, they're like, okay, we'll do it. So I go and I get this MRI done, but in order to book it, I realize that you have to have 45 minutes of uninterrupted time to go inside this machine. And I've got 2 kids and a husband who is working for
And how old is the newborn baby at this point?
She is, 8 weeks when I kind of, I'm in the admin of doing it. And we're like, oh my God, it's such a hassle. I'm putting it off.
Yeah. So you're like juggling her and...
Yes. Who's going to go where? I'm breastfeeding. It's a lot of logistics and maths as to I need multiple people to come with me because I'm breastfeeding. Someone needs to take care of the other one. It's a lot of work. Jake decides to take the day off work for that day. And that day is a Friday. Thursday. Sorry. It's really important, this timeline. So Thursday, we booked in the MRI and we said, you know what? We have just bought our first special treat. Jake and I are into camping and the outdoors. And we had ordered this camper van and camper trailer. And it was the first big thing we've ever bought ourselves. We're still renters, and we thought, you know what, we
deserve this.
we deserve a little. We have young kids. Let's take them camping. We can't wait. They're all the adventures we're gonna have. So we were really excited to pick it up. We had been meaning to, but it was like an hour and a half away. So we thought that day, go get our new adventure vehicle and pop in for the MRI. Yes. Exactly. Yes, I quite like that female doctor that I had last time that, told me to get the MRI. So I pre-booked. I knew they would probably get the results the next day. I pre-booked to see her on the Monday because I'll give it Friday. I'll book in to see her.
2 days, wait for the results.
Exactly. So Jake and I take me to the MRI, fix me up, and we're driving to go get our camper. And about an hour I should mention the experience of the MRI, actually. Because it's all these
I had an MRI before this.
I did, actually, which showed it was randomly was experiencing migraines about 5 years prior, and I got an MRI and it was all clear. So it's quite interesting to know that the tumor wasn't there then.
Interesting.
Anyway, these tiny red flags pop out to me now.
Yeah.
That didn't really alarm me then.
Yes, which is sort of lucky.
Which is kind of lucky because I was calm right up until I got into that doctor's office.
Yes.
But I lay down in this machine and they came, after it was done, it takes a long time. And the first question, he knew I think it's a radiologist, person conducting the MRI, knew that I was breastfeeding because they give you a dye in your veins. So they needed to make sure it was safe. And so he knew I had one baby. And then at the end of the treatment or the MRI, he came back in and the first thing he said was, okay, do you have any other children? And I thought, you're saying that really seriously.
Like, as you
wasn't odd. I'm saying goodbye.
Yeah.
What an odd question to ask. And for a split second, I thought, imagine if it was something really bad and he's just gauging how bad this girl is going to get. Like, this news is going to, we're about to drop a bombshell on this family. I want to suss out how bad it is because I feel really sorry for her.
Was there anything else about the situation that made you feel like, something might be?
I did.
serious?
When you're in the machine, I did see, so you can there's mirrors and you can see into their lab. And I did see a doctor and then,
Radiographer?
Yeah. Another one. So there was one of them and then another one came to look at the screen.
Maybe they
were interested. And they were like looking at it like they were interested.
Yeah.
And I thought, but then I thought to myself, might not be mine.
Yeah.
They might be looking at someone else's, Like, I am just cruising.
Yeah.
So these things for a split second come in my head and then quickly get filtered out by the fact that I have things to do.
Busy. I need to get back to my baby.
Exactly.
Yeah.
So they come in and then they quickly go away.
Yeah. Fair.
So that question, I thought, that's an odd question to ask. Anyway, we keep on going. And we're in the car and...
So you leave the MRI.
We leave the appointment and we're driving. This is a long drive. But it's while we're on this drive, about an hour after the appointment, maybe an hour and a half, I get a call from my GP's office. And they say, hey, Emily, just letting you know we've got the results. And I say, oh, thanks so much. And they're like, okay, we think you should book in for a follow-up appointment. I said, hey.
I've got one.
Exactly.
One step ahead of you.
Exactly. I was like, I've got one with the doctor I like, booked in for Monday. Thank you so much.
Yeah.
She says, no. We think you might want to come in a bit sooner. So I was like, all right. But I don't have childcare on tomorrow, on Fridays. It's really inconvenient. I've got both of them with me and I prefer Monday. And she kind of pushes again. So I think, all right, just give me next available tomorrow.
Yeah.
So I take the 11 a.m. booking and I've got to take both girls with me.
Okay.
Yeah.
Are you worried at this point?
Still no. Still not worried. And my mom...
Something is in the air and
something's in the air.
Everything is so idyllic. What could go wrong?
Well, honestly, and you tell yourself, and I do think maybe, I'm a big Googler, I'm a big worrier.
Yeah.
But maybe not for me. Again, I always say this, it just wasn't my time to be sick. For my children, I'll always, overthink. Could it be this? Could it be that? But not for me. I'm not going to be the sick one. I'm fine, And I think as mothers, you often do that. You don't really put yourself first,
Mhm.
you know?
You just prioritize.
Exactly. Your mind isn't even...
What could be wrong with them? Not what
Exactly.
could be wrong with me.
Exactly. I just wanted the admin of this to go away. I was just like, let's just get on with it.
Yes. So how did you manage getting both of the girls to this appointment the next day?
So yeah, thankfully, again, my mom has like a sixth sense for these things. And so the morning of just this random GP appointment, she calls. She says, by the way, how'd your MRI go? I forgot I even told her about it, that it was like part of my week. And I said, oh, kind of good. But they told me to come in today, even though I had an appointment on Monday. They told me to come in today. And she says, okay, I'm going to tell Dad to come and meet you so he can take your older daughter to the park while you go to this appointment so it's easier for you. And I was like, honestly, no, like he doesn't need to take time off from work. Like, it's fine. And she was like, no, we're doing it. And that, I was like, oh, that's nice. Helpful for me. I'll take the help I can get. But I still wasn't thinking. Like, Mom had red flags.
She was worried.
She was worried.
I was instinct. Psychic instinct.
She is a little bit psychic. Yes. But I went about my day and I had mother's group in the morning. And we have this.
You go along to mother's group?
I go along, everything's fine. The kids are playing, and I go, oh, whoops, I have to make it to this appointment. Yeah, I was like, forgot it was happening. Honestly. And as I leave, that moment in time, again, like really, those moments stick out in your head. And I tell the other moms, oh, sorry, I have to leave early today. I have an appointment at the GP. And they go, oh, what's wrong? And I say, oh, I just have this weird flashing thing going on in my eyes.
Nothing big.
Nothing big. Serious. And then it's like one of those things, you say it out loud and their look on their face was like, what?
I don't have that.
Oh, don't worry about it.
Nothing.
It's nothing.
Nothing big.
See you soon. See you next week. All good. And that's where it really unfolded. And then
so you meet your dad at the front?
Yes. I think we'll put that into episode 2, though. I think we'll go into... That's a big start, I guess.
True.
The start of finding out. So one really important factor that I think we'll dive into next episode will be finding out at the GP's office.
Okay.
But one crazy thing that did happen, and again, like I'm still thinking nothing of it. I make a joke to Jake where after I hang up from that GP, I make a joke to him and I say, okay, if anything serious happens, I'll text you and I'll say, come over to my parents and we'll all meet there.
That's how you'll know.
That's how you'll know it's serious.
But it won't be serious.
I'll probably not text you. Exactly. But if anything, like if they have any news for me and it's bad, I'll text you and to say come over to my parents' house. And I never actually thought that would really happen. That that did happen the very next day.
You had to send a text.
I actually had to send that message. And it was like I scripted it. It was like I was in a movie. And it was all actually happening. So we'll talk a bit more about that next time. And the realities of finding out. Yeah, exactly.
Awesome. Thank you so much.
I hope everyone has enjoyed this snippet. A little bit about us, a little bit about our experiences in life and where we want to take this.
Yeah.
We want this to be a really open conversation, real experience for listeners. And to, I'm sharing my journey, which might relate to you, but it also might be different, or you might know what to expect a little bit more. I think I would like to share this with others because I've always been an optimistic person. There was a moment in time we'll go into where I thought my optimism is gone.
It's left the building.
It has left. And I'll never get it back. This natural sense of living life with ease that I have just been frolicking around with my whole life is gone. And how do I continue? And I feel so blessed to actually say that it's back. It's back. I have it. It's a part of me. And
I think it's your strength.
Oh, thank you.
I think that's what makes you
right. I needed to hear this when I was there. I really needed to hear this during that time. And so I think it's really refreshing to hear this kind of experience. And I want to share that with others. And I almost want to give my former self this.
Something.
To know that if I had this then, maybe I wouldn't have been so dark, you know. And
Absolutely.
yeah, you know.
I mean, even I would have listened to this.
I mean, this is the thing. Everyone goes through difficult chapters in life.
Yeah.
Everyone does.
Yeah. And this would have been so helpful, even for myself, being the best friend, watching you go through this, just to feel like, okay, there is life after the diagnosis.
Mm-hmm.
There is this other side.
And joy.
Yeah, there's joy. There's so much more.
Yeah. In fact, it is a perspective shift like no other.
Yeah.
And I feel like I live life at 100%.
Yeah, totally.
Sometimes,
it's like before.
Sometimes less.
It's like the before the brain cancer, the BC.
Yeah, exactly. It is literally before brain cancer and after.
Yeah.
And
It's like this whole new perspective. This whole fuller life.
In many ways, it was like, and people go through like this with all time, before motherhood, after motherhood, before starting that job, after starting that job, before I lost a loved one, and after.
It's out of this whole new depths, this whole new.
Exactly. I shared, I mean, going through, discussing this with friends and having this experience with close friends in Avalon. Other people have opened up with me. I mean, like, actually, I went through something difficult, and it opens up a huge chapter. And I don't know if it's just with age that we're in our 30s now, and we connect with
more things, you know? Yes. That's kind of like the sad reality of life. But it's true. Like, as you age, as you get older, you collect more things.
Yes.
Some of them are kind of bad. Some of them are kind of tough.
Yes.
But it gives you that experience.
Exactly. And it's like, it's a quick way to connect with people. You kind of crack open the nutshell and reveal everything that's going on. Yeah. But then they might share theirs, and you can connect with people really well. Yeah. So I think that's what we're trying to create.
Bit of an opportunity for that.
Exactly. Anyway, join us next time.
Please.
Thank you so much for tuning into this episode of Heads Up with Em. I hope you enjoyed today's conversation. If you're a brain cancer survivor, a caregiver, or someone just looking for some inspiration, remember you're not alone and your story matters. Don't forget to subscribe, rate, and leave a review if you enjoyed the episode. It helps others find this space too. If you want to connect, you can find me on Heads Up with Em Instagram and my Instagram account, Emily Francesca Kirk. I'm excited to share more with you next time.